Good, how are you?
Okay, run. Okay, I'd like to bring to order the Lawrenceburg Board of Works meeting of June 19, 2023. Roll call.
All right, we got Board Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
We got Board Member Tommy Roulette.
Present.
We got City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
We've got the President Kelly Malone absent and myself.
All right. Are there any announcements?
I have none.
I have none. So moving on to approval of the minutes. Have you had a chance to look over your minutes?
I just have, and I'll make a motion to approve said minutes.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes approved. Moving on to new business. Seeing none, we'll move on to old business. Have anything under old business, Tom?
I have a question under old business. We had met some time back about the license agreements, Mr. Weldon, at the fairgrounds.
Yes, sir.
Have we moved on them any? And also, were you able to check on their insurances?
We had a meeting about their insurance, and as far as I know, we're good.
Okay.
And then we'll have all the new agreements ready for our approval at the next meeting, at the July meeting.
So we're going to get a copy of their insurance policies.
Yes.
Have in hand.
Well,
And give
yes.
to Mr. Abney.
We'll have that every year. They'll have a deadline every year, like we talked about. He's going to be the point person
Right,
now, just because he wasn't before, and that was not his fault. He just wasn't assigned that. So we met with
Correct.
we
That's
met
correct.
with Mr. Abden and Sites Insurance to go over all the motorcycle track, antique market,
Correct, yes.
speedway. We met on other things too. So we met on just everything with the city. But yeah,
My question is to you. You and I met at your office, and I've asked you if you could send an email for them to show us proof for this year, and that's so we can put it on file this year is what I'm getting at.
okay.
Yeah.
I've not done
Okay.
that.
That's all.
You-
I even
Proof
sent
of
you
insurance for.
this calendar year that they're under now. No one has a copy of any insurance policy for the motorcycle track, the car track, or the antique market.
Okay. Saying the clerk treasurer doesn't
No,
have that?
no,
Okay.
no one does. We've checked all
Okay.
departments and no one has one, and that's,
Then I misunderstood.
that's
I thought
fine.
that's what we were
That's
doing
why I
going
was bringing it up
forward.
again. I hadn't heard any more.
Okay,
So.
nope, that's my fault, and I'll do that tonight.
All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Any other old business? Mario?
Yes, Your Honor. In front of the board members, and I believe legal, and the clerk treasurer has a copy. We went out for quotes for the heat pump at the pool. We brought it up here in the past, went out this past winter. We solicited 4 vendors. We had 3 response.
You go ahead. I'm trying
Okay.
to see who this goes to next.
Okay, it's that way. Everybody in the audience is taken care of. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had 3 response. I'll read those off. DeBrawl was at $13,900. Next was Coke Mechanical at $10,050. Third was TP Mechanical at $9,260.
Okay, so for clarification, this is the air conditioning unit at the pool.
Correct.
It's the outside unit along with the A-coil inside line set and everything.
Correct.
It should be the whole indoor unit, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's more to the indoor unit
Yeah,
tonight.
the whole breakdown is on the front sheet.
I-
Tommy, this is
I haven't had a
actually,
chance to read that yet.
this is actually a heat pump. So it heats and cools the center
My
of the
bad.
building.
Well, again, I just got this, so I hadn't had a chance to read it yet. So, okay,
Is
gotcha.
that
I'm
electric-
following you.
Is that electric furnace? with the
Yes.
heat pump? Yeah.
Electric backup.
Gotcha. I'm following you now. Thank you.
That was 3 of the, let's see, you said there was 4?
We did, fourth of the non-response was,
Okay.
Cochran Harness, I believe it was.
I'm glad to see 3 of them responded instead of just one.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So it would be recommendation to go with the low bidder, which is TP Mechanical, and that'd be subject to legal review.
Did you get the TP, did you get a more formal quote?
Yeah,
It says
this
that
was
you're gonna
just
send it to
email.
you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hearing the recommendation from Mario, is done. Have a motion?
One question I would ask, and you probably got in here, and I'm sorry, I'm not prepared, but what fund are we taking this out of parks?
Be out of building maintenance.
Building maintenance, okay. Got it. With that being said, and it's good to go, I would go with TP Mechanical for $9,260.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
TP wins, is awarded the bid. Any other old business?
No, I have none.
Okay, do I get a motion for the discussion of the claims for board approval?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Thanks. I'll call Johnny.
It's passed down that way. Out there.
Sorry about
No,
that.
that's okay.
I used my own and I left it lay there. Sorry about that.
See, sir.
Okay, we'll move on to the Parks and Recreation Committee of June 19th, 2023. Roll call.
All right, we got member Tony Abbott,
Here.
member Justin Oppert,
Sir?
member Tommy Roulette,
Present.
member Lenny Fryman,
Here.
member Brett Bondurant,
Yes, sir.
City Attorney Dale Wilton.
Here.
We got the President Kelly Malott absent, and myself.
All right. Does anyone have any announcements?
I think when we were talking about the lot over here where we do the picnic tables over by Civic Park, we're still working through Mr. Weldon. I think we're going to transfer that from development to the parks. Is that what we decided?
Yes, you're speaking of the gravel lot.
Gravel
right?
lot.
Yeah.
The new one that we just demoed?
No.
No.
The other one?
The other one where the picnic tables are, where we just put the electric in.
Okay.
So
We want that to be parks.
that's what we had talked about in the past.
Yes, I think Mr. Messmore's going to be bringing up in your guys'
Redevelopment.
redevelopment commission meeting on the 26th. I think you guys moved it to the 26th.
Okay.
And then just Tommy and I talked to the mayor about having that, putting that spigot back in there too, so that there's Michelle and Mike McCabe and whomever's over there can water things freely. We've been having the guys go over there 3 times a week and water the planter boxes.
Nice.
And then I was just talking to Mr. Todd regarding an engineer. We're gonna work with, I think it's Strand, to get together a proposal on the new pavilion building. So that we can talk through proposal for the engineering, so we can approve that, and then we can move toward some bid documents, hopefully get that rolling,
It's awesome.
so.
Going back to the water hydrant he's speaking of, there was one present and they took it out because of the new transformer that they set in for the new electric. They said that line was leaking, but as he stated, Mr. McCabe and Michelle both asked where it was at, and we'd really like to get that put back in.
And they voluntarily, when they're down there, when they see something that needs attended to, they do it, so.
Well, with our festivities too, some people may need water. If something's spilt, we can spread. I mean,
Right.
we've all talked about the location we could put it would be out of sight, out of mind.
Kind of gives us second line of defense too, if we can't get a truck over there with
Yes.
water, clean it up, so.
Yes.
Now,
ma'am.
do we have a plan to have a meeting with the whole board about the new building?
We are.
Get some
going to
ideas on
start
what we
laying
want
that
in
out.
there?
We're actually gonna get a committee.
Committee,
together
yeah.
So that we can make sure all the parties that are involved with this, Main Street, Farmers Market, everybody's, pool for the,
General
ice skating
foreman,
rink,
yeah.
all those are together, LMU, because the electrical is necessary. And we've had a lot of these pre-meetings, but we do want to put a board together and make sure we do this right the first time.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
And all participating parties are informed and have a chance to give input on it.
All right. Any other announcements? Here none, we'll go to approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Motion?
I will make a motion, but there is one change that needs to be under old business. It states that Justin Knopper inquired about cleaning the equipment throughout the parks, and that was actually you, Mr. Abbott, so not to take anything away from you, Mr. Knopper.
Thank you for clarifying that.
All right, so do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
That, I got
I'll
first,
second
do I
it.
have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Justin, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes passed. Moving on to new business and seeing none, Move on to old business. Anybody have any old business for the parks?
Ken already talked about that, so.
Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Justin, I have a second.
Second.
Second by Brett. Oh. Ayes.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Moving on. Move to the council meeting. Everybody stand.
Pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, please.
All right, Councilperson Tony Abbott.
Here.
Councilperson Justin Noppert.
Here.
Councilperson Tom Roulette.
Present.
Councilperson Lenny Fryman.
Here.
Councilperson Brett Bondurant.
Yes, sir.
City Attorney Dale Weldon.
Here.
We got the mayor absent and myself.
All right. Moving on to announcements. Board reports, streets, alley, and curbs. I have none. Lenny?
I have nothing.
Brett?
No report?
Parks and Playground, Justin?
No, other than we talked about some repairs that were gonna be done over at, Arch Street, and those are gonna be, there's some, warranty repairs that will be done. I think they're gonna do those this fall. Found out later on, so.
There's at Arch Street Park?
Yes, some of the turf is
Oh, yes,
coming up, and there's
I
some
remember that.
wear areas. I think
Yeah.
they're gonna put some wear
Gotcha.
pads around the little, the carousel where you can hang on to 3 seats. They already put some taller rubber so it wasn't rubbing the kids' hands on the ropes as they frayed. But they're gonna do a warranty repair over there. I did notice that all that sod we put in, which was warranted for a year, it's starting to show some wear.
Well,
We have
So-
not had any.
I say with the weather we've had, there's
It's-
brown spots
Unless we put
everywhere.
irrigation, I mean, that's just, it's hard.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Hard to maintain that. There's a lot of traffic over there, hundreds of kids a day.
The only other thing we could do is have the Civil City guys go over and water it like they do everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Fire Department, Mr. Roulette?
I have nothing to report, other than, did you all see the email from Mr. Tremaine? He sold the trailer, fire trailer, a mere $4,500. So, it is now off our hands.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to approval of minutes of the previous meeting. Have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Lenny, I have a second.
I'll second those.
Second by Justin, all in favor?
Aye.
Minutes passed. And as far as committee reports, everybody's got their reports from,
Yes.
right? Moving down to new business.
Your Honor, if it pleases
Yeah.
the council, we do have a resolution that accompanies the public hearing that we have today. If it would be okay, just for timing's sake, I will introduce it and read it. We won't vote. We'll hold the public hearing. We'll open and close it, and then if it pleases the council to take up a vote on the resolution following the public hearing, that way we can kind of use our time the best way. So I'm gonna read it in its entirety, and then we can vote on it after the public hearing. So just read it, do the public hearing, and vote.
But this resolution's pertaining to the, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what, thank you.
Yep. So this would be resolution number 2023-7. Common Council, City of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana. Resolution of the City Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, authorizing the submittal of the wastewater drinking water improvement program application to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs and addressing related matters. Whereas Council of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana recognizes the need to stimulate growth and to maintain a social or a sound economy within its corporate limits. And whereas the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974, as amended, authorizes the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs to provide grants to local units of government to meet the housing and community development needs of low and moderate income persons. And whereas the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana has conducted or will conduct public hearings prior to the submission of an application to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs, said public hearings to assess the housing, public facilities, and economic needs of its low and moderate income residents. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, that 1, the mayor is authorized to prepare and submit an application for grant funding to address the water system improvement project and to execute and administer a resultant grant, including requisite general administration and project management, contracts and agreements pursuant to regulations of the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs in the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. 2, the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana hereby commits the requisite local funds in the amount of $441,832 in the form of City of Lawrenceburg / utility funds as matching funds for said program. Such commitment to be contingent upon receipt of wastewater drinking water funding for the city's water system improvement program from the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. So that's the reading of that resolution 2023-7. Jody Kummer with SERPC is here, as well as Judy McAdams. Want to thank both of them for working hard, as always, on these grant opportunities, and they are available to answer any questions that you gentlemen might have.
Now, do we suspend the meeting and,
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay.
And then we'll open the public hearing as it pleases Your Honor.
all right, so, do I have a motion to suspend this meeting and reconvene after the public hearing?
I'll move.
I have a motion by Justin, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Tommy, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting suspended. And the public hearing is open.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jody Kummer with the Southeastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission, and I'm here with Judy McAdams with the city. And yes, Judy's been working really super hard on this project. So we did submit this grant to OGRA, which is Lieutenant Governor's Office, the Office of Community Rural Affairs, which is a HUD division of the federal government. But that was submitted in December of last year, and it was not awarded. So about 2 months ago, we met with the mayor and an OGRA representative to discuss why it was not awarded and what the city can do to make it more competitive for this next round. So this next round, the grant due date is June 30th. And one of the things that, I guess one of the marks that was not hit last time when the grant application was residential impact. So we are trying to hit that harder this time, and we met last week and we went up to the apartments, Tuscany Bay and Waterview. Yeah, and we met with the property managers there, and they are passing out. We were going to go door to door, but I think people really don't like that, and so the managers offered, one, there's a new manager there at the Waterview, and she said she's doing inspections, and it would be easy for her to go door to door and ask for those. And then the other woman said she would put it on an email blast and then also go. So we're going to touch base with them on Wednesday, and Judy's going to go back up, and then hopefully we'll get some comments, concerns they may have that we can incorporate in the grant application and make it more residentially impactful for OGRA. So, I mean, you have your local match, that's good. You're going to get $1 per, I guess, is it per point? Like if you have 441,000, it gives you, basically like 400 and something points, but then that's, whatever, but they do give you match points for your local match, but residential is really what we're going to need here. So I think of anything else. I just do have a couple forms that I'll ask to be signed afterwards. It's just a disclosure report that just tells what your number is, and then a letter that says, something about the resolutions and the local match, where it's coming from. But does anybody have any comments at all about the project?
I just wonder if, we had talked about the actual cost of this project, and Judy, and being that there's a point for every dollar awarded, I wonder if is it too late to revise that contribution? Because we have in our budget, we just talked to this water main project at $2.3 million.
Yeah.
And then their baseline number is 1.1.
That's
Less than 1.1.
Yeah, and then there was another, I know, Judy just received another updated budget, and it did not include the engineering or the grant administration cost, but those together it's still not that big.
Yeah,
I didn't know where
itemized. I mean, if it's 11th hour and we're not.
Right.
it's going to be tough,
And
yeah.
I know it would be tough, but is it worth, if we're talking about another 1,000,000 points, toward the potential acceptance of this application.
What's the 480, whatever it is? I mean, what's that number based on? Is that 50% Matt? Is that?
Yeah, it is. Well, so you're asking for a $600,000 grant, so it's almost 60% to 40. You're putting in like 40. Yeah, so I mean, that's one way you can increase your points is increase your local match if you're talking about $200,000.
That's 75%.
Yeah, it's a lot.
75%, which would be significant. I mean, I don't-
75-25 it is right now.
No, we're at 60-40. They're giving us 60.
We're at 60/40 right
60/40.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're saying, if
Wh-
it's true to our numbers,
Yeah, we
2.3, that puts us at 75%, our part.
And the engineer just sent that out then?
That was just for their capital projects with our.
Oh, was it?
Our
Utility
utility director, yes.
Your utility director
So,
did.
this has to be done by June 30th?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, we're.
And so do we have, I know we kind of pushed this one off. Well, the problem was we had our site visit really, really late. And so when it was decided to go ahead with it, when the mayor made the decision, then we're like, oh, it was crunch time. We're like trying to figure out when we can get the dates in. You guys do not meet again though until after that
Yes.
date, is
Yeah,
that correct?
This is July, yes,
July
actually it's
5th,
fifth.
July 5th, on Wednesday,
Deadline.
July 5th.
Yep,
I
Yeah.
mean,
unless we call for a
if we
special.
need to get another meeting, my concern with the apartments at this point, I don't think you're gonna get a lot of response from residents.
Probably not.
In the apartments. I mean, just knowing that you know, the feedback, it takes a little bit of time to prepare that feedback or a letter. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
maybe one or two, but
Yeah.
knowing that we're not gonna have a lot of impact in that area, I wonder if it's worth us, you know,
Even
it's crunch
pushing
time
it
and
up.
try to push through and get that revised budget. We can talk to Billy tomorrow and
If we do, yeah, we just have to have another, you know what, though, I don't know if we can.
You gotta put it.
You have to have 10-day
in the
notice.
public
And
hearing.
Yeah, if you guys don't feel comfortable and there's
Yeah.
that part, we understand. We just, when I was talking with Judy earlier, and she was showing me the numbers. again,
Yeah.
and by the way, the numbers went up with our last meeting. She was not aware of that. We weren't until this last week, so.
But is it based on the
I don't know.
preliminary
I'm not-
engineering? What's the engineering based?
It is preliminary, it's all
I
preliminary,
mean, is
yeah.
it just the wastewater project, the same project that we reviewed with?
This,
Not
the
wastewater.
water,
Water main.
Yes.
water main.
Yes.
Yeah, so the two water mains, we're gonna
50.
consolidate that to one.
So our utility director gave you those rough engineering numbers, that's what you based this on?
We had that from last year.
Yeah.
It's
And
the
then
same,
you-
yeah,
and
we're
then
just
you-
using the same ones, and then this newer one was sent out, but I've not seen the $2 million one,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
And
But
you did 60-40 because why? Is that,
that's your max you can get. 600,000 is the max you can get,
Based on your,
Okay.
based on your first set of numbers.
first set of numbers, right,
We
yeah.
understand that. We're just, well, I guess it's like wishful thinking. If
Well, we
could
would
get
just,
a little bit
we'd need to
more-
make notice tomorrow on the 20th, and we'd need to have a meeting on Friday the 30th.
We can't, yeah, it's due on the 30th, we can't,
Yeah,
yeah, we
the
can't,
deadline's the
yeah, we
30th.
can't do
We're already
that.
outside the deadline.
Yeah, we are, yeah. Unfortunately, that application's like,
So-
well, it used to be really thick, but it's all electronic, but there's no way. I don't think she can write up everything.
So when can we reapply? Can we reapply?
It'd be the second half of this year, so
Can.
it can.
Well, this
It's
is a-
twice a year, there's 2
That's a
rounds.
2024 project, that water main anyway, so
Yeah.
that's, we didn't change a lot of criteria from the last time, so it's unlikely we're gonna receive that grant.
Now, we're hoping that we at least get a little bit more residential in there, because they're gonna wanna see that no matter what. So, I mean, if
Right.
this doesn't work, I mean, if you guys wanna go ahead, you're talking still submitting it, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, okay,
I
okay,
mean, unless we
okay.
canvas those areas and we actually have.
Then
them
we
right,
revise this, yeah.
which, I mean, it's worth it for $600,000.
Oh, yeah, well, I think it is,
But
yeah.
anything's better than nothing.
Well, that's true, that is true.
is that the primary factor that you see the most opportunity with is the data, the canvassing? Would that help us the most?
Residential.
Probably,
Yes.
yeah, because that's the only residents in that area. It's all
Englewood,
business.
Behind Wendy's, but I don't know if we're gonna, the water main comes down that far or not.
So you guys, I'm sorry, you did Tuscany Bay and which? was-
Waterview,
Waterview,
behind Walmart.
down by
Yes,
Walmart.
Yes, yes.
Well, I'd say
And
that,
that's
there's-
significant impact.
yeah.
So there's 96 units at the Tuscany Bay and 64 at Waterview. And like a little over 300 and something residents.
What numbers do you usually shoot for? Just whatever you can get, or?
Whatever we can get, we're just gonna try. Yeah, we left
More
quite a bit. We left a couple, yeah, like 150
I
surveys.
wonder if one of you guys wanted to maybe talk to Guinevere about, the opportunity to do,
Reach
to
alert.
do in person. I know that even though it's kind of frowned upon, or maybe focus on other properties.
Other,
Guinevere can talk to Jody and Judy.
Yeah.
If that's the thing that'll help us the most, then.
Well, I mean, Okar's gonna wanna see that because this
Yeah.
is HUD money and HUD
Yeah.
money. It's,
So if
well,
we
just
had-
like the
If
resolution.
we had like 3 or 4 high school kids available to go.
Oh,
knock
that
on
want to go
doors.
door to door.
Yeah.
Well, we offered, that's what we
Yeah,
had the whole
we
day
were
blocked
ready.
out. We were ready to go, and she's like, oh, yeah, I mean, they didn't care, but I think she just says
The
you,
property manager said.
yeah, and I think they just prefer, if people, when people start soliciting, they think you're soliciting. You knock on doors, then they'll call down there, and then they'll kind of complain that people are knocking on the doors.
We
Yeah.
did run into one man
We did, yeah, he's gonna.
outside there,
yeah, Mm-hmm.
and he took the survey and said, I'll fill it out and give it back to the manager.
So is that all you need? It is a survey?
It's a survey.
Okay.
Yeah. And we did a survey. Guinevere actually helped on that
No.
last time. No,
No, it was Susan.
Susan did it.
Susan
okay.
did it.
Oh, yeah, it was great. You had a wonderful response.
Yeah, but it was all about the traffic. They were concerned about getting held up in traffic.
No, well,
It wasn't so much about the residential
Yeah.
impact.
can't duplicate any of the.
We will use some of
work we
that.
did in the comp plan. Is that too old? Is that data too old?
Does it mention that? Does it talk about the water project? And that
Not
one?
specifically,
No,
but
no.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think they really like to have new surveys geared toward your project.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we have all the summer help still, you know, that they're done mulching.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have 8 or 9
You can-
young people that could, yep, we can talk about that later.
You wanna talk about that
Yeah,
tomorrow?
when
We got a
talk-
wagon, I mean, I'll jump in the wagon. Justin can knock an apartment complex out.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we serve
It is-
popsicles or, yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah.
One thing too, you may, during the day, you may have a lot of people work as well.
Well, and then we could tell when we went back later, I thought it,
And whatnot.
maybe later in the day. Yeah, it was kind of,
A couple cookouts in the evening would be the best thing to get them.
Yeah, on a Ferris wheel. Well, I think the good takeaway is that, you know, it's interesting to see the work that Judy does and that she does with Susan and Jody, and you guys always have the ability to, you know, ask questions about that and give your suggestions, because you guys had a bunch of good suggestions already tonight, so.
oh, we appreciate.
The grant revenue is incredibly important.
Yes, it is.
It is. And it's out there right now too, you know. I mean, you might as well take advantage of it or try to, I guess.
So you guys are awesome. We appreciate Judy and Jody and Susan. So I would just show that at 6:27 PM, I would ask if there are any members of the public that have commentary related to the public hearing for this grant application. And if we hear none, then we can close it, Your Honor, and re-enter the city council.
Hearing no comments, I have a motion to close the public hearing.
So move,
Motion by Tommy, do I have a second?
Mr. Knopper.
And a second by Mr. Norbert, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting closed, and we will reconvene the city council meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Good work.
Thanks.
No, we're not gonna vote on it.
Then,
Yes, sir, if we could.
Okay.
I would just ask if it pleases the common council to have a vote on resolution number 2023-007 as read prior to the public hearing.
Do I have a motion for the resolution?
So move.
Motion by Lenny, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Tommy, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Resolution passed.
And Jody, Mr. Abbott is council president in mayor's stead, so you can sign any documents that you have. Yes, ma'am. And you just,
Yeah, you-
if you could just write.
Copy of
Tony
the
Abbott.
resolution.
Do
You
what?
have a copy of that resolution?
Yes, could you, well, Tommy's got the only copy, I think.
yeah, I only brought one copy to bring back.
I can make another
We'll
copy.
make copies.
Susan,
Yep.
Susan,
Make a copy, that way I can
I
get
got
it
it.
signed.
I got you, man.
We'll be over here in just a few minutes.
Yep,
Got
thank you,
it.
Mark.
I'll do her.
Do you have, it's just a disclosure report, and you disclose how much money, how much grant money you're applying for, and it's just.
You want it signed right now?
Yeah, if you don't care, it's one of those.
Anything else?
No, I've asked Mark to look at a letter, just to say, yeah, it just says how much the local match is. Well, we'll go, and we'll proceed this route, and then if it changes, yeah, you're gonna get a lot more points on your local match if your project goes up that much, which I hope it doesn't go up that much.
Yeah, may go up even more by the time we get that changed.
Don't, please.
Did we pass the resolution, did you?
We'll sign, if we
We gotta
could
get a
just,
copy of
if
it.
we
We'll
could just,
sign
Copy it
afterwards.
and sign,
Well, we're almost done, Judy. So would it be okay if we just wrap up
Yep.
and then, because it's easier for Mark, he's gotta keep everything straight.
That's fine.
It's a tough job.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not seeing any other new business. I'm gonna move on to old business. Does anybody have any old business?
I have none.
I've got one question for Dale. Where are we on the ordinance for the golf carts from Greendale to
Oh,
Lawrenceburg?
yeah, I forgot about that.
There was some talk about that, and we're coordinating with Greendale. There were some questions that we had to answer, but I think we have a final version. My understanding is we know what we're
Does
gonna
ours
do.
match
Greendale
theirs?
passed theirs, yeah.
I was gonna say, they passed theirs effective 1 July, right?
Yep, they passed theirs at their last
Yes.
meeting. We wanted to check in with, everyone who might be affected by it, and we did
Or
that.
else-
We had some questions, just to make sure everyone was okay with our proposal. I mean, our route is completely up to us, but just how we'll work with everybody else. So we had, questions about that were answered earlier, late last week.
Okay.
So I think we're ready to go. I haven't seen the final
So
language.
if
but-
theirs is passed, are they coming this way? I mean, are can they do anything until we actually pass ours?
No.
Yeah.
I think they're under understanding that it's a go.
I think
No,
they are
it's-
too. That's why.
That's why I
mentioned
wanted
the
to
date,
clarify
because
that.
They're gonna have a parade July 1 coming up.
Yeah.
It's like, here they
I
come.
wouldn't be surprised.
Problem was that it was on
But they
social
shouldn't-
media.
They shouldn't be able to do anything until our resolution matches, right?
Well, right, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, the main thing we want is to clarify where we're turning off.
The
of-
routes.
Off,
Yeah.
where that everyone has to come down and turn left at the light, and they
4th
can't.
Street.
They
Yeah.
can't turn left, at the middle school,
At
because you can't
6.
anyway, 'cause
Yep.
it's only one way.
Right.
And then
Left on front.
left on front,
Right.
and then
Yes.
we want them to go behind the gas station.
Yes.
And not out onto Arch.
It's open, and it's already open. They took the
Yeah.
bollard out. It's open straight through under the tunnel. They go right out, they're gonna go.
Come right up behind VP and be right like.
But
you said,
but it's
right.
just as easy to get in front of the gas station too, isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
but
you
I
have
don't
to make,
know.
it's a little tighter to get a
Okay.
golf cart there. And there might be a bollard there they can't even get past.
I don't
Oh,
know.
really?
It's, they can,
They
it's,
get pushed to that gravel alley.
it's not, no, they go straight through. It's actually concrete now.
Yeah.
All the way to the black shop. They'll just go right behind the gas station. It's pretty clean and it doesn't impact residents, only goes behind the the VP gas station.
Yeah,
Get
you,
right out on that.
you wouldn't want to send them through VP's lot, I wouldn't.
No, I think that was the point is
No, that'd be a
trying to
mess.
avoid them doing that, because I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a pretty popular spot.
That's the other thing I was going to
Yeah.
state. The other thing I think we're waiting on, I'm sorry, is that we were going to get signage to show the route as well.
Yeah,
So everybody knew exactly what way you do go.
that's right. I remember, I think you brought that up when this
I'm
was.
pretty sure Mr.
First
Todd had
stuff.
stated that they will
Yeah.
get signage saying in and out, because when they come back, they can go up 6th Street and turn right back on the ridge.
Yeah,
Well, they have to.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, exactly. Unless- Yes, they do, you're right. Never thought about that.
I'd like to get that done as soon as we can because on social media, Greendale thinks they're allowed, it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
open now.
they're eating dinner at Alpha
Really?
Bubbles on July 1st.
Well,
They're coming. Like it or not.
Yeah.
okay,
As long as it's legal, though.
that sounds like an invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get with Mario and the mayor and just put together what you guys want, and then we'll get it passed.
Mark it and,
All right.
yeah, make sure they get it marked, that's for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other old business? Hearing none. Comments from the audience?
Packed house last weekend.
What's that?
Packed house on Saturday.
Yes, it was.
Couldn't even
Yeah.
get under.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
A lot of people.
Only heard one complaint Saturday.
Uh-oh.
They was talking like they said they needed an extra beer garden.
Beer garden or
Another
line to
wagon
go
in
quicker.
there.
An extra one?
Just 'cause they had to wait in line too long.
Yes,
crowd was
we
so
did.
big.
Both-
Okay.
Both of us caught that, but Michelle Cohn took care of it pretty quick.
Well, and just to let you guys know, we had a meeting, City and Main Street and our lobbyist will be here on the 17th, I think.
For Dora?
Lobbyists will be here on the 17th to just make a general report on all legislation. But we met last week on the DORA. We're gonna roll out kind of the specifics. It's really very flexible, so we can kind of do, we have a lot of options. The main thing I think, just conceptually to think about is you know, what's the biggest area that we want, and then that way we can have smaller areas inside of it. So it's kind of set up so you can have multiple Doras, but I think when we were talking through, it made more sense to say, okay, what would be the widest area we would want, and then obviously knowing that most of the time we're going to be within the park, but it's very exciting. I mean, it allows for beverages to be sold at Strong's and then taken out down to the park, and then you can buy a beverage at Funny Farm and take it out and go to Proof and go to the new Union Hall, and it just gets rid of all those arbitrary fences and borders and requirements like that, but at the same time still allows us to carefully control, no underage drinking, no bad behavior. Seems like it's a huge success in Ohio. We're gonna go, and you guys are welcome to join us. We're gonna go check out a Dora area at Liberty Center. We feel like that's the best one. So check that out kind of online, but if you want to go in person and just see how do they set up their signage, because there's very specific language that needs to be on the sign inside each restaurant or bar, and then signs that are kind of demarcate the barriers without having to have a big barrier. You don't have to have sawhorse or bollards or fences anymore, but you do have to have signs that say no alcohol, but on this point at the big perimeter.
Okay, because I feel like Hamilton, I feel like they had a fence around their whole door at one point. And I know that that's kind of part of the reason, as you designate a larger area, I wasn't aware that you didn't have to have some type of
Wonder if
separation.
signage just
Yeah.
actually took over.
Yeah, and maybe so.
Well, I know that
Maybe it was a temporary
And
thing.
that's a lot when you have a big area.
Or it
Yeah.
was an initial thing to kind of
well, it can be,
hold in the, the borders.
yeah. Well, and it can be temporary, it can be permanent. It can say, okay, in this area it's just always a Dora, or it can say in this area it's a Dora just for Saturday. I know that if you imagine like 4th Street Live in Louisville,
Correct.
that's like a Dora, but they just have bollards on each side of the alley. If you imagine in the alternative, kind of like what Brett you're saying, Mr. Bondurant, if you imagine like Reds games or Bengals
Yeah.
games, they set up those temporary fences just at the entrance. But you think about it, what we've always seen, but we want to go look at it and see, okay, now that we know that we're going to have one and Indiana's going to have one in general and just passed it effective July 1st, how does it really look? Because I think probably we don't see a lot of the things that kind of make it specific. So we're lucky because our lobbyist was really closely involved. She gave a lot of kudos to the city because our feedback from Michelle Cohn and Guinevere and everyone went directly to the legislators and helped them pass the bills. There were 2 bills at one point. They got merged into one, and made it achieve our goals specific to Lawrenceburg. And we're going to be one of the first ones to kind of roll it out too. So we'll have it for this summer season, which will be cool.
Well, I'm glad to see it moving along. It's been
Yeah.
a long process.
Yeah.
That-
Well, and that'll solve some of the issues you guys talked about. That's why I brought it up, lines,
Right.
it was always it's not ideal to have a little corral for people to be in. We want everyone to be free to move around as they please.
Downtown Cincinnati, I believe they pretty well marked their sidewalks with stickers showing it was a door in this area, and you just follow.
That's a neat
Yeah,
idea. That would be
I
cool.
brought that up before.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
brought it up
thanks.
that, and you stayed right within that.
Huh.
So every so often, you'd see a sticker on the concrete saying door area or door line or
Whatever it
whatever.
is,
Yeah. something to
Yeah,
that
I
effect.
love that. That's a great
Well, that
idea.
would keep people within that, like,
Yeah, and then,
and get rid of the barriers and everything else.
Better than like an ugly
Yes.
berry. You don't want
Yeah.
it to be. That's neat. And then the other things
just
are:
food for
do you
thought.
have wristbands? Do you have like special cups? Those are all
I don't know,
different things
I
to
didn't
do.
do
The
it.
Cups is the big thing, it seems like, that goes around.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it works, though.
Yep,
you know.
yep.
Or you just keep filling
Well,
it.
they're on. Michelle and Guinevere and the mayor are already on top of it with our lobbyists. So
Unless you
They're
drink,
ahead of
unless
the
you don't
game.
drink it all.
All right. Any other comments from the audience or from our lawyer?
no, so hey, you guys started it. You were.
Is that supposed to get rid of the lines? The
That's
beer
right.
line?
That's right, Lenny.
Yeah. I know they's complaining about that quite a bit.
It's all right.
Okay, and
Mr.
Moving
Rowland,
on.
of all people would have heard
review
that.
and discussion of claims for board approval. Motion to approve the claims.
So move.
A motion by Lenny, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Justin, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Claims approved. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Tommy, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Brett, all in favor?
Make copies.
Meeting adjourned.
You guys weren't even gonna let me in that part, was it? Pull me right out of that.